Second Life Sneakers, back with part 6 of our NYC Soul Swap series. So that is this pair right here. If you haven't seen the videos before, there's 5 before this one. We've already swapped these, basically they're pretty much done. So we've got them swapped, stitched, everything. What we need to do today is we need to stress test them, find the weak spots, and then lay a second layer of adhesive onto the weak spots. So how we do that is you're just going to take your shoe. Usually I have nothing in it to back it up whenever I'm doing this, and you just kind of press along the edges. And I'm going to bring it up close so you can see a little better. We do have some weak spots to fix, but that's what you want, where it's holding right there. When I'm putting that pressure, that's good. That's good. But you can see there, I'm not sure how well you can see, but there is a gap right here. So it looks like we maybe missed a spot with the adhesive. Still pretty tight around the toe. Could use a little bit more, like right there. So that's all we're doing here, is we're just pressing around at different points. That's sealed up nice and tight right there. So overall it looks like it's sealed pretty well, but we have a few problem areas. It's a little loose right there. That's a pretty common weak spot whenever you've got like those areas where there's 2 cuts of leather stitched together. And that's normal because there's thicker material, so the inconsistency in the material thickness causes kind of those little pockets. And then usually you'll have a little bit at the back too. So it looks like we got a little bit of separation at the heel. We don't have anything crazy. I mean, it's holding pretty well, but definitely have a couple areas that can use a second run of adhesive. So we'll take the other one and test it as well. This one's a little bit worse. This one you can see you got a good bit of separation right there. This isn't anything too big to worry about. It's pretty common. Really, like, what's happening is you're probably just missing some spots whenever you're laying the first run of adhesive, or sometimes it just doesn't clamp correctly on the first run. So this second run is important so that we can get these fully sealed so that they'll last when they're being worn regularly. And then after we do that final seal, we'll look for any spots that we need to clean up and just anything that we need to touch up before sending them back to the customer. So I'm going to show you how to do this next part. For the next part, I take one of my owls. This is the one that doesn't have a hole in it, so it's like the seam puller. And I saw this on the site. I've linked it before. I probably won't link it here. I'm tired of linking it, but you know where to find it if you need it. So we're going to open up our can, and all we're going to do here is we're just going to dip that into the can. You can't see from that far back, but I've got a little tiny drop of barge on this. You got to act fast so that it doesn't get kind of like gummy. But all you're doing is you're lining that into the cracks right there, and so it's going to create a nice little glue line. It's important that your barge is still fresh when you're doing this, that it still has good viscosity. I've got another video on that, on why it's important, but this is a practice where it's really important that it's still in that nice runny liquid state so that you can easily line it into these crevices. Because if it gets old, it starts to gum up, and then it'll leave little chunks along that glue line rather than a nice, clean, consistent line. And you don't want that. It just doesn't look right. and it makes it a lot more difficult to seal when you got it like that, because the chunks don't lay flat. You have to like smash the chunks out whenever it gets like that, and it's not good. You may even have to do this a third time. Like, it's a good idea to stress test it again after you've done this second seal. This pair, I feel like we probably won't have to because it's holding pretty well on this first run. The right shoe's a little more separated than the left, but still nothing crazy. I mean, just separated at the top there, and it's probably just that we didn't put the adhesive high enough. But yeah, sometimes you'll have to do this a couple times. Ideally not. But this is, in my opinion, the hardest part of the process is just making sure that the glue line is secure in a way that it's going to hold up over years of use. Because it is a lot harder to do this by hand than what they're doing in the factory. When you don't have a machine to apply like even pressure all the way around and you're clamping everything by hand, there's always some room for error. The good thing about doing it by hand too is that it's slower and it's safer, so there's less risk of damaging, a rare shoe or something like that. But there's also more risk of the swap just not holding up well over time. So little practices like this can really help put more life into your swaps. Making sure that glue line is tight is really crucial. But this is a brand new can. I just got this can in like 2-3 days ago, and I just cracked it open today. So this should hold really well. I did the swap with an older can, but still looks like it's holding up pretty good. But we're gonna do the seal with this fresh one. It's important to make sure that you're not getting any of this barge cement on the uppers, except for the glue line that you're creating, because it could stain the uppers. It's easy to get it on there if you don't watch what you're doing. It's easy to get it onto your hands and then transfer it from your hands to the uppers without even meaning to. So just always be mindful when you're using this. Typically this toe box area that I'm doing right now is going to be your most problematic area, where you'll see the most separation. Usually the sides and the back seal up pretty easily on the first or the second run. But the toe is where you can really see some problems. That's kind of a common theme for Air Forces. Usually you have the most fitment issues at the toe, you got the most glue line issues at the toe. You usually have to shave the toes for the air units. So don't worry if it doesn't come out perfect. You can always fix it. Hopefully y'all can see what I'm doing from back there, but I'll bring it a little bit closer in a minute so that you can get a better view for some of this. Sealed. And we'll probably seal these tomorrow, like do the bonding for all of this. We'll do it in sections. I usually do like 7 different parts. Basically like each panel is a part and then I do like that toe is the last part. Okay, I'm gonna bring this one up close so you can see. So I've got a little bit on this owl, and then hopefully this angle is right. What I'm doing is I'm holding this back with my finger, and I'm just lining that up in that little crevice there. And I'm using that owl to get in between the midsole and the upper, and just kind of flatten it out, smooth it out. You can't really fit a brush in there, and this, in my experience, has been the most effective tool. And honestly, this is probably just the most useful tool of my whole arsenal of tools is this little owl. It does so many different things. I use it to help split shoes apart. I use it to pull the threads for the midsole. I use it to do these glue line adjustments. I use it to scrape dirt off of the soles sometimes. Get rocks out of the soles. Okay, so this one's good for now. Kind of looks like it's starting to droop down. Try to fix the angle here. Okay. But yeah, this one's good for now. We'll put it back in one of those boxes and let it hang out till tomorrow. And then tomorrow, what we're gonna do, we're gonna take our heat gun, we're gonna put it on low, and then we're gonna go around the shoe in sections, and then just clamp with our hands. And then I'll probably put like some stuffing into the shoe so it holds its shape. We'll let it chill for another day after that, and then we'll clean it up if it needs any cleaning. It looks like it's got a little bit of dirt on the, on the midsole. And then I'll probably paint these air tabs. Since it's black, it's really easy. And then we'll be good, and we'll be ready to send back to the customer. So the guy that sent these in also sent these Ethiopian clowns in, and I've got these swapped as well, and I've laid the adhesive on these for the final sealing tomorrow. So quick look at these if you haven't seen them yet. Pretty cool shoe, really nice leather quality. Feels kind of like a baseball glove. But these had same amount of separation pretty much all the way around, so we're gonna give them another seal tomorrow. And then these are pretty clean, so they won't really need too much work for like the final run. But both of these should be ready to send back in a couple days. That's the goal. But yeah, we're in the final stretch here on both of them. So we'll go ahead and we'll repeat the process that we just did for this one, and then we should be done for tonight. Y'all don't have the time on this video, but it is like 2:30 in the morning out here. This one doesn't have a lot of weak spots, so it should be quick. what I'm doing right here is I'm squeezing off just a tiny bit of excess. These surgical tweezers work great at getting any extra glue off. You want to do that while it's fresh. If you do it while it's fresh, doesn't leave any mark. If you let it sit there, sometimes it can eat a little bit of the paint. On suede, these tweezers are really effective as well. Okay, we're done for now. Excuse me. We have our adhesive lined all the way around both shoes. We'll let it cure tomorrow. We'll heat it on low. We'll seal it by hand. We'll stuff the toes to give it some extra support. Let it dry for a day. We'll come back. We'll fix up the air tab. Nothing major wrong with it, just a little bit of paint chip. We'll do any final cleaning that needs to be done. Get these looking the best they possibly can. After they've gone through that final treatment, we'll lace them back up, put the insoles back in, and then get them sent back home where they belong. So, hope y'all been enjoying the series so far. That's part 6 for today. We'll be back with a part 7 and a part 8. Part 8 should be it. That should be our final video for these. I'll have another series coming up. It'll be for the orange canvas. I've already started on those and I've already started filming. And then I'll drop a couple more videos along the way over the next week or so. So stay tuned. Hope you've been enjoying it so far. Please like, subscribe. It helps a lot. We're trying to push to monetization. It's going to be a long road to get there. So any help that I can get on that way is appreciated. But yeah, thank y'all. Hope to see you soon. And goodbye for now.